My old HP Officejet Pro 8100 finally bit the dust, so it was printer hunting time. And I'm at a point I'm just sick of dealing with ink cartridges. The OEM ones are just insanely priced, and the aftermarket ones, well, what can I say? They leave a lot to be desired. So my wish list for my new printer goes something like this. I run Linux as my OS, so Linux support is a must. I would really prefer just a printer and not a multifunction device. Built-in duplex capability, along with a paper cassette that will hold at least 100 sheets, and ink tanks instead of ink cartridges. So not a lot of demands really. I mainly print text and I guess what would be considered line art. On a rare occasion, maybe a photo. I have one 50-sheet pack of photo paper that I've had for better than 5 years, and it's still over half full. So those requirements took me to this Canon G5020. I didn't even see an HP or Epson model with ink tanks that was a printer-only device. This Canon G5020 seems to have everything I was asking for, and it was only $150, less than I was expecting to pay for an ink tank printer. But less up front is not necessarily less in the long run, so the low cost does make me wonder how well this printer will hold up. But the only way to know, get one and give it a try. Well packaged, looks like separate black and color print heads. One 70 milliliter bottle of ink for each of the 3 colors, and 3 170 milliliter bottles of black ink. Looks like a lot of ink. Of course, there's tape everywhere holding stuff in place. Every time I take something out of the box that has this tape on it, I think I want to find out what kind of tape it is. It doesn't leave any residue, and no telling how long it's been on there. I need to get me some of this tape. So there is separate black and color print heads. I wonder if one goes bad if it will be worth replacing, or do you just junk the printer and get a new one like the HPs I've been using? My last 3 printers have been the HP Officejet Pro 8100s. All 3 failed with the print heads going bad. What's frustrating is only one had printing problems. It wouldn't print black ink. The other 2 failed by not being able to detect an ink cartridge. That, I think, is what has soured me on the ink cartridge system. That and the fact that the replacement head for the 8100 was right at what I paid for the entire printer. So what's the point of even having a replaceable head? I don't really expect this Canon to be any different. A $150 printer really is a disposable item these days, and that's a shame. But with the 2 separate print heads, I guess I can have a little hope. I'm not even going to look up the price for the print heads. I'm sure it would just irritate me. So that's how it doesn't make a big mess. Looks like a valve in the top of the ink bottle. And the fill port has a tip that pushes the valve open. Okay, that works very nice. Takes a bit of time for the ink to drain into the tank. Not all of the ink comes out of the bottle, and probably for good reason. That should keep any settled particles from getting into the printer. I hope that is the reason. Makes me feel better about the little bit of ink left in the bottle, anyway. Color inks work the same way. Ink is even a bit slower to flow into the tank, it seems. But I really like that. I was expecting some mess. That is a nicely done design there. Well, that really does beat trying to refill ink cartridges. Time to plug it in and see if it works. Of course, with 2 separate print heads, it will require some alignment, and that is part of the startup series on the menu. Looks like it just uses black and cyan to align the heads. Almost impossible to get a good camera shot of the LCD display, but it says ready to print. I hope that's true. Now to see if this thing will work in Linux. I run OpenSUSE Tumbleweed, so there is a printer install GUI in the YAS Control Center, but it didn't recognize the printer. On Canon's webpage for the G5020, at the bottom are support links. The software and drivers link has what I need. Operating system is Linux and it's 64-bit. I guess they just decided to leave off the x86 part. Now Tumbleweed is RPM based, so I'm going to try that first. Hopefully I don't have to compile from source, but it is nice that option is there. End up downloading a compressed tar file, so after decompressing it, end up with a directory with an install script. Of course, it will run as root. And this is the second time through this, so the CNIJ Filter 2 RPM is already installed. The printer is on and connected by a USB cable. The G5000 series is the only printer connected, so I'll select the default of 1. That name looks good enough for now. And yes, I want it set as the default printer. And that is it. Let's see if it'll print a test page. And there it is, so at least I can print again. One thing I do want to test is if the duplex function works. I'll set up a 2-page document and give it a try. Okay, very good. I think that is going to do what I need. After a few weeks with the printer, I'm pretty pleased with it. It doesn't seem to print quite as fast as the 8100 I had. At the same time, it does start up much faster. I would say the print quality is a bit better than the 8100, but I'm comparing it to a 4-plus-year-old HP printer, so that may not be fair to say. If this G5020 will hold up as long as the 8100, and I don't have to deal with ink cartridges, I will have considered it a great buy, but only time will tell. Thank you for watching.